Welcome everyone to our free monthly Soul Power session with me, Louise Charman-James from Soul Signature. And this month, February 22, it's 22 today. So I thought we'd go with the theme of relationships, sacred mirror of relationships. So we'll be exploring that today. So if you're just joining, just making yourself comfortable, turning off any distractions, just coming into your own sacred space for the next hour or so, just under an hour. We're going to be doing some clearing around this topic today. At the end, we'll be doing a light language activation, and you can share what's arising for you. We use the chat box, so it's up to you if you want your video on or off. We won't be talking live with each other, but we will use the chat box. So making sure you've got that open. And all right, let's just drop in and tune in a little bit and just come fully present for our call today. So just taking a moment to take a breath into your body, into your heart, just feeling yourself, feeling this beautiful expression of divine light that is you. Here you are in individual form, and also feeling all of the other beautiful souls on the call or catching the replay. All of us, different expressions of divine light showing up so we can be in relationship with one another, so we can actually get to explore what it feels like to experience others as different aspects of that light. So really feeling into that, you're for yourself, just noticing how you are today. Everything is fine, just meeting with compassion. Any feelings arising for you today, and just letting yourself take a breath into your body, feeling your body in the chair, feeling your feet on the earth, taking a moment to ground, just to feel yourself present here, held, supported. Few people hopping on still, so welcome everyone. And just bringing your presence to this moment for our call today around this topic of the sacred mirror of relationship. So we're going to be exploring that a little deeper today. We're going to be working with some clearing around all of the topics, various resistances that can arise when we enter into relationship, when we experience ourselves in relationship with others. So I thought I'd just read out to you, instead of a channeled message, I found a beautiful quote about relationships, the sacred mirror. And I can't remember the first time I heard that expression, the sacred mirror. Anyway, this is a quote from a book called The Promise of Wholeness by Eric Erkan. He's talking about the mirror of sacred relationship. So he says, this mirror refers to the way we live our life and our private relationship with the divine and with others. Our primary and possibly most important mirror originates with our parents. Since children perceive everything their parents do or say as a form of love, a primary love template is created. This template informs our sacred relationship dynamics in the following ways. Positive and negative childhood experiences create primary love templates. Parental modeled forms of success or suffering hardwire into our brains. We will treat ourselves in a similar fashion until we transform these patterns. In relationship dynamics, we tend to treat others as we internally treat ourselves. Thus, positive and negative attitudes that our mother, father, and caregivers modeled become internal templates that we mirror to ourselves. And this, he talks about the Essene mirror of sacred relationship, states that this parental primary love template is then applied to our beliefs and expectations, not just about others, but also from the divine and our heavenly mother and father towards us. Templates become mirrors which reflect our primary attitudes and expectations towards ourselves, others, and the divine until we transform them. So just taking a breath to kind of breathe that in. I thought that was really interesting, particularly also that we tend to see, the divine or even just life as parents, you know, the relationship we have with our parents, whether we feel supported, and we could translate that into divine masculine and divine feminine. You know, what do we expect from life? What do we expect from others? And how does that reflect what's inside us? So just taking a moment, you could share in the chat if you are noticing anything, any responses to that. So this idea of these initial templates, these initial experiences, these initial interactions with our parents, this first sacred relationship, really, how that then influences what we perceive others are going to give us, what we perceive about ourselves, what we're worthy of, what we deserve. And I've got some phrases around that. So if there's anything that came up for you while I was sharing that, feel free to share that in the chat. Yeah, Lee saying, feeling misunderstood, too much, too loud, love hurts. Yeah, Chantal saying, parents are our gods as children. They are, and we don't have that ability to understand that perhaps what we're getting from them isn't pure, isn't clear, isn't true. Yeah. So yes, feeling suppressed. Isabella saying, I would 100% agree with that. And Yasmin, I relate this to my relationship to myself around the inner critic. Yeah, so if you had very critical parents where you learned that you needed to perform to be loved, you might be doing that to yourself. I know this is something I had a lot, and I tend to expect a lot of myself and not love myself unless I'm achieving or performing certain things. So noticing these. Jealousy issues, says Chantal. Okay, yeah, beautiful. All right, so I've already created some phrases, some general phrases around this idea of the parental love template, and then a lot of phrases based on everything that you have all shared, which we'll do together. So we're going to use the compassion key clearing modality. Most of you are familiar with that already. If you're new and haven't worked with that before, it's simply a way of speaking words of loving compassion to the parts of ourselves from our childhood or from even other lifetimes that are still holding limiting beliefs, feelings, experiences from the past that are actually distorting our experience now. So when we give ourselves compassion, when we name with loving compassion these beliefs and feelings and experiences, it just allows them to dissolve. So we're really bringing our own loving presence, that presence of our own higher self, our own whole self, to the wounded aspects of self so that they can feel really seen and heard, and they can actually let go of that. And what that does is it really sort of clears the lens. These are really distortions that we've picked up along the way, and that just clears the lens so that our light can shine. We can see that light reflected back from others, and there's nothing getting in the way. We haven't got these distorted lenses of betrayal or being let down or being judged or being criticized that are actually getting in the way of experiencing that. Relationship with God here. Okay, Lexini is sharing relationship with God and healing, a lot around the ideas of the masculine at present. And defining feminine and masculine can be a confusing concept. Yes, I guess so. We all have these internalized ideas, I guess. And I love that idea of the heavenly mother and father as well, because it's even around, I guess it's even beyond masculine and feminine. It's around the qualities of that. Maybe the qualities of the mothering and the feminine might be around nurturing. Maybe the qualities of the masculine or the father maybe around being protected. So feeling into those for you, that may have been a different dynamic in your family, right? So finding what works for you around there. We're really looking at these energy flows between us and others, and where we're maybe blocking those, unconsciously distorting those flows. So we're not experiencing that open-hearted flow between ourselves and others as this reflection really of the oneness that we all are, right? That we're all source light, that ultimately we're all, you know, part of that one light. But in this experience, in this human experience, which is an experience of duality, we're experiencing others as different, as separate from ourselves. But ultimately, we all have that same yearning towards that union and that oneness. And I guess when we're looking for that clarity in that relationship with others where we feel seen and heard, we're looking for that oneness, right? And that's it. And if you have someone in your life who really gets you, there is a feeling of unity there and connection. And that's kind of what we're looking for in relationship. We're looking for that union in our relationship. We're seeking to find that divine union again with others. But of course, that's within ourselves as well. So we'll explore that a little bit more. So, all right, let's jump into some phrases. So I'm going to say the phrases out loud. You're going to say them out loud in your space. You're all on mute. Just check that. And you can, yeah, as you speak the phrases, just allow the energy of the phrase to, move through you. Some of the phrases may land and feel really powerful for you, and you might notice a response. Others may simply pass through you. It all depends whether they're really naming something that's being held in you. So, and you can also notice what else comes up for you. So I actually wanted, before we do that, I actually wanted us to start with a phrase that we're going to say out loud, and we're going to use this as a diagnostic phrase. So what I mean by that is, as you say the phrase, you're going to get a bit of a gauge on how true this is for you or not. And the phrase, actually going to use two phrases to use the gauge, and I'm going to put them in the chat. So these phrases are: I relate from wholeness with myself and with others. I clearly see the divine light that I am reflected in others. So this is what we're maybe kind of aiming for. This would be the experience that we would love, that we, instead of having an experience that's distorted by wounds held by ourselves or held by others, we're coming from this place of wholeness, right, where there isn't anything in the way of that connection. And then we're really seeing that our light is reflected in others. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing distorting that. So try saying that phrase out loud in your own space, and notice anything in your body, any sensations, any feelings, any thoughts. Maybe there's a voice that might arise either inside your head or outside your head. I relate from wholeness with myself and with others. I clearly see the divine light that I am reflected in others. But just saying it out loud, noticing, are there any words that trigger you particularly? Lee says, can we add on all levels? Yep, absolutely. Feel free to modify that. Yeah, I relate from wholeness with myself and with others on all levels. If you want to add that, or at all times. Yeah, I clearly see the divine light that I am reflected in others. So you can modify this. You can use one of these, or just, all both. And then when you feel you've got a sense of you're just noticing any resistance to that, see if you can rate that out of 10. So 10 out of 10 would be absolutely true in every cell and fiber of your being, no doubt at all. Thanks, Lexini. And then feel free to share your rating. So we're getting a 5 there. So it'll be somewhere between, 1 and 10. Just how true does this feel right now for us in our being? And we'll check in again with this phrase at the end when we've done some of the clearing phrases. And the phrase sometimes goes down. Usually it goes up, but sometimes it goes down because we might tap into a deeper level even of resistance to this. So we're just using this as a way to explore, to find out what's sitting within our being with compassion, with curiosity. So just checking that for yourself, so that can be a gauge for yourself by the end of the call to see if anything's shifted then. So, and feel free to share in the chat too any resistances that come up to that. Maybe the word wholeness is triggering. Oh, feeling, maybe you might find a judgment about yourself. Oh, wow, I'm not whole, right? Others aren't whole. I'm not divine. You might notice things like that coming up, like some self-judgment. Or maybe there's a voice from externally, right? That someone else might have been telling you that you weren't perfect, you weren't whole. Okay, great. Yasmin's saying 7 personally and 4 for others. I lose myself with others, right? So we might have a better relationship with ourselves, but then it kind of, when we bring others into the equation, what happens? What happens when that gets lost? Okay, go to 6. All right, so just give me a moment to share those. And again, no judgment. We're not trying to be perfect right now. We're being curious. We're diving in. We're noticing what energies are held within our being in this sense of how we relate to others and how that we relate to ourselves is a reflection of that. All right, so I'm going to jump into a few phrases. So I'm going to leave space for you to say them after me. So we'll start with just a few around this, this parental distortion, that we didn't necessarily get that clear framework around what it means to love ourselves and love others. All right, so deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, saying the phrases out loud after me. I'm so sorry you received a distorted love template. I'm so sorry they received a distorted love template. I'm so sorry their love wasn't pure and clear. I'm so sorry their love wasn't unconditional. I'm so sorry their love was distorted. I'm so sorry you needed their love to survive, even if it wasn't pure. I'm so sorry you thought their projections were love. I'm so sorry they projected onto you. I'm so sorry you learned to project onto others. I'm so sorry you learned to relate from wounding rather than wholeness. I'm so sorry everybody related from their wounds. I'm so sorry you didn't know that was happening. I'm so sorry you thought there was something wrong with you. I'm so sorry you didn't learn how to love yourself unconditionally. Just taking a breath. And let's just name some of the feelings around that. Yeah, and a few phrases there. Thanks, Lee. I'm so sorry they forgot how to love themselves unconditionally. Okay, so let's name some of the feelings that result from that. Okay, so again, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, saying the phrases out loud. I'm so sorry you're sad. I'm so sorry you're angry. I'm so sorry you're confused. I'm so sorry you're scared. I'm so sorry you can't trust others. I'm so sorry you feel rejected. I'm so sorry you feel unseen. I'm so sorry you feel misunderstood. I'm so sorry you get hurt over and over again. I'm so sorry your heart gets broken over and over again. I'm so sorry you have to protect your heart. I'm so sorry you get defensive. I'm so sorry you accidentally closed your heart to others. I'm so sorry your heart is scarred. So just taking a breath. Okay, so some shares there, feeling some grief and sorrow. Another phrase, I'm so sorry you learned to live lies. Saying that one too. I'm so sorry they made you feel unworthy. And so lots more phrases. Okay, so let's do a couple around relationship dynamics, how that plays out, how that early experience might play out in these distortions. So again, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, speaking the phrases aloud to these parts of yourselves that have had these experiences. I'm so sorry others' wounds locked into your wounds. I'm so sorry you didn't know you were seeing them through a distorted lens. I'm so sorry you didn't know they were seeing you through a distorted lens. I'm so sorry the reflection was distorted. I'm so sorry you couldn't see yourself or them clearly. I'm so sorry they couldn't see you or themselves clearly. I'm so sorry you have to learn how to relate from unconditional love. I'm so sorry they have to learn how to relate from unconditional love. I'm so sorry that everyone is stumbling in the dark. Okay. Taking a breath. Okay, a few more phrases there in the chat. Let's add those in as well. I'm so sorry you live in fear. I'm so sorry it goes beyond this life. I'm so sorry you learned to hurt yourself. I'm so sorry you're still waiting for them to see you. I'm so sorry they made you afraid to be you. Okay, all right, beautiful. Taking a breath. Okay. Just checking in with yourself, noticing anything else that's arising. So let's go to some phrases from what was shared when everyone registered. So some of them will relate specifically to you, some to others, but I think we'll all relate to many of these. So yeah, again, feel free to share what's coming up for you. All right, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, speaking the phrases out loud. I'm so sorry you don't have the relationships you want. I'm so sorry you don't have the connections you long for. I'm so sorry you stand back instead of joining in. I'm so sorry you don't share yourself freely with others. I'm so sorry you observe but don't participate. I'm so sorry you keep your distance. I'm so sorry it's safer not to get involved with others. So if you can relate to that, you can share. Beautiful people sharing. A lot's cleared already. That's great, Lee. Getting a yes on the diagnostic. She'll be saying the phrases are powerful. It's great. I'm so sorry you always have to wear a mask. Say that one. I'm so sorry life is a struggle. No, I'm so sorry it's a struggle to relate easily to others. I'm so sorry it's not safe to love yourself. I'm so sorry it's not safe to be you. I'm so sorry you chose the hard way. Yeah, thanks, Chantal. Sharing lonely. I have got that in these phrases, so I'm going to go a little bit further with these, some more of the phrases. So glad that they're landing. Let's do a few more about maybe being a bit different, being misunderstood. Okay. I'm so sorry you feel misunderstood. I'm so sorry you feel like an alien. I'm so sorry you feel like you don't belong here. I'm so sorry people think you're strange and different. I'm so sorry you're too much for them. I'm so sorry they don't try to understand you. I'm so sorry you expect them to know what's in your head. I'm so sorry you're disappointed when they don't. I'm so sorry you don't share your truth with them. I'm so sorry you're afraid they'll reject you. I'm so sorry they do reject you. I'm so sorry they did reject you. I'm so sorry they persecuted you for being different. I'm so sorry you feel powerless. I'm so sorry your human interactions go sideways. I'm so sorry relationships feel unsafe. I'm so sorry relationships feel untrustworthy. I'm so sorry relationships feel unreliable. I'm so sorry people come and go. I'm so sorry they don't stick around and support you. I'm so sorry you attract narcissists. I'm so sorry you attract your parents. I'm so sorry it feels like the pattern is hardwired into you. I'm so sorry it feels like you can't change it. I'm so sorry you feel hopeless. I'm so sorry you feel lonely and alone. So just taking a breath. So remembering to, these sound a bit heavy and negative, but we're just acknowledging the experience and feelings of parts of us that are feeling this way. So we're not affirming this as our experience we want to have. We're just meeting the parts of us that already feel this way. Okay, so let's say a few more based on what's shared in the chat. Okay, so another deep breath. I'm so sorry you want to protect yourself from the pain of rejection. I'm so sorry you don't understand why this happens to you. A big phrase from Lee here. I'm so sorry you feel someone has to die for you to live. I'm so sorry you feel you have to die for others to live. Yeah, that phrase makes me feel tap a little bit into birth imprints there. Often stuff can be set up even when we come into this life, whether there's been loss around in the family that we come into, where we have to make way for others. So it can be really useful to go and do some work around your own early experiences. Something you could do with me or with someone else, but really looking into, what did you incarnate into? What was that kind of framework set up there that with how everyone was relating to each other? More phrases here. I'm so sorry you believed love was betrayal. And so I'm going to rephrase that one. I'm so sorry love and betrayal became entangled for you. I'm so sorry you couldn't have love without betrayal. So that's I'm glad that you shared that, because where we get these dynamics kind of collapsed. For example, if you did have a narcissistic parent, you would probably have a dynamic where you'd have to give away your power to be loved because it would always be about them, right? So you couldn't have, and so then that would then be reflected in relationships where when you got love, it always came with control where you had no power, because there's a collapsing of that. So when we say these phrases, for example, you know, I'm so sorry you couldn't have love without betrayal, or I'm so sorry you couldn't have love without control, right? We're able to start dissolving those, because that our consciousness starts to go, oh, maybe that's possible, right? So sorry you didn't know you could have love without betrayal, right? Couple more here. I'm so sorry you feel you can't relate to yourself from wholeness. I'm so sorry you believed your divine light was wrong. I'm so sorry you think that love can only deceive and hurt. Yeah, I'm so sorry they ignored you. I'm so sorry they withheld love. I'm so sorry you had to work harder to get it. I'm so sorry you thought you had to earn love. Right, so this is where we learn these conditions. I have to be this way or not be this way. I have to do this or not do this in order to get that love, which at that early age is so much about survival, right? It's all love in a way, like whatever comes, it all is interpreted as love, because that's what we need to survive. We need that love. We need that belonging. We need that acceptance. So we accept it, and then we make it work for us. Right? But now, as we get older and more awakened and aware, we can see, okay, we just need to love up that part of ourselves that took that on as a coping strategy, you know, whatever that is for you, whether it's holding back, closing down, not sharing yourself, working harder, over giving, pleasing, all of these things. We can get to look with curiosity and see what's there. Okay. All right, got quite a few more phrases to get through, so I'm going to keep going. It's great that everyone shared. All right, so let's do a few more around maybe, you know, not finding the right people, and maybe, you know, wanting more depth that other people can't meet you with. So let's say some phrases around that. Okay, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus. I'm so sorry it's hard to find people who share your values. I'm so sorry they're few and far between. I'm so sorry many of your relationships are superficial. I'm so sorry you want to go deep, but they don't. I'm so sorry your depth scares people away. I'm so sorry they think your standards and expectations are too high. I'm so sorry your expectations set you up for disappointment and betrayal. I'm so sorry you don't expect them to be there for you. I'm so sorry you don't trust them. I'm so sorry you don't trust yourself. I'm so sorry you feel you don't have any value or anything to contribute. I'm so sorry staying connected to them means betraying yourself. I'm so sorry you feel bad and wrong. I'm so sorry you feel ashamed. I'm so sorry you trigger them and they project onto you. I'm so sorry they only give you what they think you need, not what you really want or need. I'm so sorry you're always defending yourself. I'm so sorry you try to prove that you're good enough to be loved. I'm so sorry you're too accommodating. I'm so sorry you try to please them instead of yourself. I'm so sorry you don't have healthy boundaries. I'm so sorry they don't have healthy boundaries. I'm so sorry you feel cursed in your relationships. I'm so sorry you don't know how to lift that curse. Okay, so let's take a breath. Okay. All right, so a couple of another phrase or two in here. So let's say those from the chat. I'm so sorry, nothing you do is ever enough to be loved. And again, we can go back to that. I'm so sorry you thought you had to do something to be loved. I'm so sorry you couldn't be loved just for being you. I'm so sorry you don't know what it feels like to be loved just for being you. I'm so sorry you accidentally got cut off from the infinite supply of love. I'm so sorry because they couldn't love you unconditionally. You thought you weren't worthy of love. I'm so sorry because they couldn't love you. You thought love was unavailable. I'm so sorry you thought they were the source of love rather than just one channel of love. I'm so sorry you didn't know that the source of love was within and around you. I'm so sorry you accidentally chained yourself to their love. Okay, so take a breath. I think what we'll do is we will try the phrase again, the diagnostic phrase, and just see if that's shifted. So again, you can use one or both of the phrases. Maybe my little amendment. So the phrases are, I relate from wholeness with myself and with others at all levels. I clearly see the divine light that I am reflected in others. I'll put that in the chat again. So saying it again, noticing how does your body respond, your mind, your heart. And then maybe finding a rating out of 10, where 10 out of 10 would be totally true, no doubt whatsoever. 1 out of 10, not true at all. So Chantal sharing 8 for the first part, wholeness with self. Second part, 5 to 7. From a 5 to a 7, is that what you mean? Oh, no, 5 to 7, somewhere between 5 and 7. All right, so just noticing what shifted for you. Might be for the first part, might be for the second part. And then, you know, when there's a difference there, we can say some phrases around that. You know, I'm so sorry. It's easier to relate to yourself than to others. I'm so sorry. Others are unpredictable. I'm so sorry. You're afraid to relate from wholeness with others. Maybe you want to expand on that. Me running dishonest. Not sure what you mean by that. So maybe expand on that one for us. And share your rating, whether it went up or down. If it's gone down, that's fine too, because often we're tapping into new layers of this for ourselves. There may be deep layers of sadness, of grief, and we may really need to go back and perhaps work with the younger part of ourselves, the younger self. So that's something that we do in one-to-one sessions where we can go a lot deeper and actually pull out a part of self that had a particular experience, that earliest experience we want to really be working with. So the superficial key you talked about. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you didn't know how to be honest with your wholeness. Okay, so if we put it in the you form, I'm so sorry you didn't know how to be honest with your wholeness. I'm so sorry you were scared to reveal your wholeness. Right, and there can be a vulnerability around that, right? If I open up and show all of myself, right, there's just I'm just putting so much more at risk, right? That vulnerability. And yet when we're able to do that, that actually gives other people permission, doesn't it? They see that openness and that it can really open the door for them. Okay, one from Chantal. I'm so sorry you weren't enough for them, and I'm so sorry you weren't enough for God. And I'm so sorry you failed and let God down. Yeah, beautiful, Yasmin, gone from 8 to a 9. That's great. I'm so sorry you're scared to reveal your power. Yeah, so much of this can come from feeling we've got to hold ourselves back in order to be approved of, loved of, accepted, right? So when we can let go and disconnect from needing that love and approval from someone else, where we're actually letting that go and we're just shining our light fully, then those relationships can be so much clearer. And so and we can really see, and it'll be interesting as you go out into your relationships now, if you can feel that shift and you can really just stand in that love for yourself and that wholeness, to notice how that shifts the dynamics with others, because we're not holding those patterns in place anymore. Yeah, thanks, Lee. That's a nice one. I'm so sorry you thought you had to receive external validation to be whole. Yeah. So we can often feel that we're missing something, but just because of those early experiences where somehow we felt we weren't perfect, we didn't measure up, and then we're always looking for that peace outside of ourselves. So we want to come into that sense of wholeness for ourselves. Yeah, should be. Yeah. All right. Yes, agreeing with that. Okay, so let's go into the light language activation. So really, I want to really call for just this healing frequency, empowering frequency to help us to really stand in this wholeness of ourselves, that we are tapped into love always, right? As just our birthright, as part of our essential nature. We come from source, we are love, we're created from that, we're an expression of that. And so we don't need that from anyone else. We actually get to radiate that. We're infinitely supplied, and that can like brim through us and brim out to others, right? but knowing also that others have that direct connection to love as well, that we all have that. So I think bring it back to that reading that I did at the beginning around this, Heavenly Mother and Father, like when we really tap into that, unconditional divine love that wants to, that sees us as a child of the universe, as a child of source, and wants to give us that love and that support and that protection, totally unconditionally, just delighting in us for who we are, right? That's simply you being here, being you is enough for life and the universe and the divine to delight in you and want to love you and support you, because it's just a reflection of that divinity and that divine love in all of us. So really calling for us to really anchor into that frequency, that really standing in that wholeness in ourselves, seeing that wholeness in others, that nobody is broken, nobody is imperfect, there's nothing to do, right? We don't need to earn that love. So really calling in all of those frequencies of just feeling anchored in that wholeness and that freedom to just really celebrate that light and that love that we are, and that radiate freely, and seeing that reflected back in our experiences with others. So just taking a deep breath into your heart, just opening to receive, trusting that your higher self is guiding these frequencies for you, received in the highest for you at this time, to empower you and release what no longer serves you. Ngura sanni makiora lo kuya diana la makura se danje. Sasaro malo quile moro ala karki shilmot saboro alali te masikiratore e amaro. Sashimara meli ur makansi berana shibla orale che te marco samlawo aybar che tila aron. Sasama shibra moro umari kite ale ak orete. Sasamo shibra abala akiaro masabri alo kati achire koram. Sakuma chibro as auro kuma sibra che charpo tomale ibro ante. Sasimara vinur awi okoraba shalo konomare ete. Sakshikor malakita arkata sumari kichele kamor kitili. Tasama kodle ak ira chokosame chelko nomor esse. Tasamora kichele ma arpota me sibrek ak ila dar utile. Sa shomelive kuru matsibra atile. Kai emosero shomaraba kit imarote. La asma sholmekila moro anima la kote. Tarasaru shomori il malamotere. Savant sumachele aka at aure esoye. Hikiamo ala muor eta eata. Sa shomaramare imarote imaraki. So just taking a deep breath and just exhaling, allowing those frequencies just to integrate in your being. And so there was a lot of clearing going on there around the higher heart chakra, the thymus, which is where we relate from. And this idea that as we nourish ourselves, really starting down at the solar plexus, building that inner fire of self-worth that opens the heart and nourishes the heart. And then this then fills up and infuses the higher heart, gets activated, where we're able to relate to others and share that. And then that gets expressed, through the throat and in this relationship with others. Beautiful. Like Shivi always offers us a code, which is beautiful. So visual code, divinity. So feel free to share a little bit more about that. I'll send that out. Like Shivi sends those to me and I'll send them out. And that's something you can work with. So that's activating that divinity within us, relating from our divinity, from our wholeness, seeing others too as this divine expression, all of us a different facet of that whole diamond, as it were. And so when we can really see that, we can enjoy the different reflections that people offer us, right? Because we're not looking for them to fill a hole in us. We're coming from that wholeness. We're seeing their wholeness and also knowing that oneness that we're all a part of, right? And that which is that urge for union, that urge to come out of separation back into union. But of course, we want to find that within ourselves, find that wholeness within ourselves, heal the separated parts within us, so that, we are integrated in that, and we don't need anyone else to fill that hole in us. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, others being attracted to your light. And again, you might even, want to clear. Sometimes we actually hold ourselves in the brokenness because it feels safe and familiar, and actually being in our wholeness can feel terrifying. And maybe that's a whole topic for a whole nother call around, actually really, is it okay for me to be whole when so many other people are actually living in the brokenness, right? And, we might do a call maybe around this, I might have done one already, I can't remember, around this, the victimhood and the staying in the suffering. and being willing to be the one that steps out of that. And, you know, within your families and within your tribes and your communities, to be the one that's actually willing to step out of the patterns of suffering will either be very liberating for other people because they see a path, or it'll be super challenging because they're very attached to staying stuck in that. So yeah, massive session. Yeah, it really is, right? But ultimately it's like, do you want to live your life stuck in the woundedness, or do you want to live your life from that place of wholeness and light, and then be a beacon of that for others? So yeah, like Sheena, we're the instrument through which the love, light, and creation energies play and flow from source. Yeah, I really believe that. I really believe that. And that life and source really delights in our unique expression. So really coming from that, feeling how delighted life is in you, about you, for you, with you. All right, beautiful. So thank you everyone for joining me today. Yeah, it's right on the nose, 11 o'clock. Fantastic. I've got to go. It's on another call. Thanks so much, everyone, for your participation. I'll share the replay later today, hopefully. And oh yeah, happy birthday for yesterday. Thanks, Chantel. And yeah, happy 22 too. Hopefully it'll bring balance and love and partnership and beautiful things to all of you. And I'll see you next month. We'll yeah, and also send out in the with the replay if you want to have a chat with me, talk about, you know, what's up for you. I do love doing deeper work with people where we can really work deeply with these parts to empower you to share your beautiful light. All right, lots of love. Thanks, everybody. And I'll see you next month. Bye. Thanks, everyone.